Mahatma Gandhi undertook fast unto death 1932, mainly because 2012 question, round table conference failed to satisfy Indian political aspirations. Congress and Muslim League had differences of opinion. Ramsay MacDonald announced a communal award. None of the statements are correct. Answer option is C, because against the communal award of, that is separate elected for depressed classes. Okay. And now some INC session, important INC sessions. Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of 1936 Lucknow session, declared socialism as the goal. In 1936, again Jawaharlal Nehru is the president. It was the first village session of INC in Faizpur, in village, that is Maharashtra. Haripura session, Gujarat, Subhash Chandra Bose was the president, and here National Planning Committee was established. Chairman was Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was chairman of National Planning Committee. Subhash Chandra Bose also one of the members, and Subhash Chandra Bose was the president of Haripura session, in Gujarat. And again Tripuri session in Madhya Pradesh 1939, and two candidates, Bose versus Pattabhi Sitaramaiah, and Subhash Chandra Bose won, but Pattabhi Sitaramaiah was getting support from Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, but because Subhash Chandra Bose won, Mahatma Gandhi, it became, he felt like that is, it took loss of Pattabhi Sitaramaiah as his personal loss and not toward Gandhi's sentiment. Subhash Chandra Bose resigned, and then Rajendra Prasad took over. Rajendra Prasad took over as the president, because Subhash Chandra Bose, he resigned from the presidentship because Gandhiji, that is, he felt like the loss of Sitaramaiah was his personal loss. So, did not want to hurt Gandhiji's sentiments. So that is the reason Subhash Chandra Bose resigned. Okay, it was not a personal conflict between Gandhiji and Bose. We'll talk about INA, we'll talk about Subhash Chandra Bose, because one INA question was asked. So then we will better understand the relationship between Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose over there. Okay, so because they had great respect for each other, they had immense respect for each other. Don't believe in this WhatsApp stories and everything. So we will see the realistic what happened. Okay. Then 1936-37 elections on the basis of 1935 Act. Okay, on the basis of 1935 Act. Okay, so INC won in most of provinces. Okay, most of provinces formed the government in first time in provinces that are called as Congress ministries. The Congress government called as Congress ministries. It's the first taste of power. The first taste of power being ministers and control over the British bureaucracy. Being a ministers, being minister, they had control over British officials. Okay, so that happened in 1936-37 elections. So look at in where they formed the government. Okay, so out of 11 provinces, 5 provinces they got complete majority. Okay, that is Madras, Bihar, Odisha, Central Province as well as United Provinces. Okay, then again near majority in Bombay, not complete majority. Then again single largest party in Bengal, and formed government in 5 provinces on their own. In 3 provinces, that is Bombay, Assam and Northwest provinces, total 8 provinces as coalition governments. Okay, in Assam with Assam Valley Muslim Party. Okay, that is Muhammad Sadullah was the leader. Then again Bombay with small pro-Congress groups. Then again Bengal, who had formed the government, and that is Krishak Praja Party, Fazlul Haq with All India Muslim League. Then again in Punjab Unionist Party with the leadership of Sikandar Ayat Khan. Okay, and then later Sindh by Sindh United Party. Okay, so they had formed the government. Okay, and it is the first taste of power, like I already mentioned, it's the first taste of power for Indian political parties during that point in time. On the base of which elections? On the base of 1936 election, which was based on 1935 Act. Okay, and these elections were the first in which the larger number of Indians, so nearly 10% of Indians were eligible to vote, because the voting rights were started to be expanded from 1892, 1909, 1919 as well as 1935. Even though it was not universal franchisee, but certain section of the society who had educational rights, who had educational qualifications as well as property qualifications, taxation qualification, they had given right to vote, and all of them voted for most of the provinces, that is INC 1, that is near all the full majority in these 5 provinces, that is Bihar, Odisha, CP United Provinces, Bihar and Madras, and coalition governments in Bombay, Assam and Northwest Frontier Province. Okay, and All India Muslim League, which claimed it is a representative of all the Muslims, it never could able to gain full majority even in Muslim majority provinces also. So that shows that one, that people are not siding with the communal politics of All India Muslim League and some other communal organization from the majority side also. So that is, they couldn't able to form any government, and even though they could able to form some coalition government, but later that was also fell out. Okay, and these Congress ministries, they resigned because India was included in Second World War in 1939 without any consultation. So that is the reason INC again decided to boycott it. Okay, so because India was joined with Britain, and then again we can talk about France and later USA and later USSR against Germany, Japan, as well as Italy, who were fascist powers. Of course, Indians had sympathy against fascist powers. Indians wanted to support the democratic powers of USA, France, and England. But Indians were included in the Second World War without consultation. And that is the reason this signed. Okay. Look at that, resigned. So, 2012, again question. Congress ministers resigned in 7 provinces in 1939. The Congress could not form ministries in other 4 provinces. Emergence of left wing in the Congress made the working of the ministries impossible. There was a widespread communal disturbances in their provinces, and none of the above. Answer should be none of the above, because it is due to that is involvement of Indians in Second World War without any consultation. Without any consultation. Now, what is the INC stand on the Second World War in 1939? The INC said that we are going to support. We'll support against fascism, because fascism is a bad ideology led by Hitler, Mussolini, and Japanese monarchical government then. Okay, so if conditions, if complete independence after the war would be given to Indians, at the same time interim government would be given during the war. If you fulfill these conditions, that we are going to support the war. We are going to support the war, and that is the stand taken by Indian National Congress. Okay. So after the INC stand on Second World War, and to have the future viewpoint about how INC should go about, there was a session, there is a Ramgarh session. Ramgarh is in Jharkhand in 1940, and the president was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. And now they agreed that a battle must be waged for independence. Okay, but there was a disagreement over the form. So whether we should launch the mass movement, whether we should go with a limited satyagraha, okay, whether it should be individual movement, whether it should be a mass movement, because we need to keep on fighting for our independence. But as of now, the time is not ripening because the Second World War is going on. Okay, and finally it decided at the session that the people of India would accept nothing short of complete independence, because we passed the resolution way back in 1929 that we want complete independence. We are definitely going to agree for that one. And civil disobedience we will launch if they don't agree to this particular demand. And as soon as the Congress organization is considered fit enough, and if circumstances warrant. And they said that one, that is presently we are not going to disturb the Second World War efforts of British, because they are fighting against fascism. We also have issues with fascism. So at the same time, it is not the right time to launch civil disobedience movement, as the Congress organization is filled with corrupt practices after 1937 elections, because they had the taste of power, they had accepted power, they were in powerful positions. So that led to corruption creeping into them. Okay, so then if he felt like that one, that is we need to strengthen the organization, and Hindu-Muslim conflicts were going on during that point of time because of the communalization of British divide and rule policies. Okay. So now we felt like that is when the circumstances warrant, we will launch civil disobedience, and the circumstances ultimately came in 1942 for Quit India movement with the failure of Cripps mission. We'll come to that one. Okay. So that was the resolution that was passed over there. Yes, we will wage a war. We will fight for our rights, but not with mass movement as of now, because circumstances are not necessary. When circumstances come, we will fight for our rights. And when government said, or so rather INC said that we are going to support the war efforts if the complete independence is given, if interim government is given during a time of war, British government came up with some offer that is called as August offer of 1940. We will expand the Executive Council, that is Viceroy's Executive Council, which is the highest decision making body with cabinet. So they said that one, that is we are going to expand with some Indians over there. Then again we will give dominion status, and we will provide constituent assembly after the war, so you can draw up your own constitution. Then we will have War Advisory Council. But Indians wanted Purna Swaraj. So Jawaharlal Nehru said that one, it is dead as a doornail. And they also tried to encourage the Pakistan movement, which was gaining traction during that point of time. They said that one, we are going to protect the rights of minorities in the constitution. Again, extension of the divide and rule policy, rejected by ANC, and Jawaharlal Nehru said, it's dead as doornail. So we are not going to accept these offers, because we want independence after the war. We want transition government right now, or interim government right now. Okay, so we are not going to accept nothing short of independence, because you are providing us dominion status, which is thing of the past. So that is the reason against August offer. So Indian leaders decided that one, we should launch certain movement. If we don't launch certain movement, so Britishers will take us as granted. That is the reason limited satyagraha was launched, also called as individual satyagraha, instead of mass satyagraha. Okay, that is against August offer. In October 1940, only selected individuals will give speeches against the Britishers. They will before giving speech also, they are going to take the permission from the local authorities, and they give speeches against the war because India was involved in the war without consultation. Okay, and it is also kind of a chance for the government to accept the demand. If they don't accept this, then we are going to launch mass action. Just to show that one, Indians are not cowards. Indians are not bogging down from their demand. So we will ask for our demand through individual satyagrahas. And the program was seeking independence. Then again, the right to freedom of expression, because freedom of expression was taken away during the times of wars. There were different archaic laws for being imposed and criticism of those laws. And Satyagrah's demand would be to use the freedom of speech to oppose the war. Even though Indians had sympathies with the democracy, but Indians were involved without consultation. And that is the reason we are going to oppose the war also. And of course, if the Satyagraha is not arrested, they are going to go to Delhi. It is called Delhi Chalo movement. March towards Delhi by Satyagrahis. But this never culminated. This was never culminated. So this is limited Satyagraha against August offer. Against August offer, to show that Indians have the ability to fight for their rights even if there is no mass movement. So who participated in the individual Satyagraha? Vinoba Bhave was the first one. Second was offered by Jawaharlal Nehru, and then again Sarojini Naidu. So all these individuals offered individual Satyagraha. Okay. Then March 1942, what happened? Japan was gaining victory because Japan was winning. Because Japan was fighting with Germany and Italy against British, and Japan was occupying Koreas, then again Indonesia, then again Malaya, then again Manchuria, then moving towards India, Southeast Asia and India. So Japan was defeating Britishers handsomely. So now USA pressurized to get the support of Indians, because if you want to defeat Japan in Asia, we require the support of Indians. It's not the Indians army support or something like that one, because army is part of British Empire itself only, but the Indians people support. There's a difference between army going against Japanese as well as the entire Indian people going against the Japanese invasion. So to get the Indian support, USA pressurized UK to grant what Indians are demanding, that is responsible government as well as independence for India. And to negotiate for that one, they sent Cripps mission. Who sent? UK, because UK was already coming under the influence of USA, because UK was getting defeated all across European continent also by Hitler. Then so Cripps mission was sent. Stafford Cripps was the chairman. Privy Seal was there. Then again other members of House of Commons were there. Now negotiations started between Cripps mission and Indian leadership. Now and again Nehru and Maulana Azad were the official negotiators for INC. Okay. Now what Cripps proposals? It said dominant status, but Indians wanted Purna Swaraj. Then again it said Constituent Assembly after the war, but Indians wanted already an interim government, then Constituent Assembly after the war. And they say that when the nominated members from princely states will be there in this Constituent Assembly, and elected members from provincial councils. But what Indian National Congress wanted, that one from princely states also it should be elected. If princely states nominated members will come, they will demand the rights of princes to be protected, not the rights of the people. That is not a real democracy. And defense portfolio will still be under Britishers. And what kind of a government is that one? If the defense is still under Britishers, what kind of power Indians will be having? And they encouraged Pakistan movement again. They said that one, if any of the provinces, they knew that is, we can say the Muslim majority provinces of Bengal and Punjab, particularly Pakistan Punjab region presently, they are not going to agree to the constitution prepared by Indians, constitution prepared by Indian National Congress and other leaders. So they divided, again they started divide and rule policy. They said that one, if any provinces do not agree, they can have a separate agreement with Britishers, that encouraging Pakistan again. So this is how Pakistan movement was culminating. This is how Pakistan movement was culminating. They are trying to pit one community against the other, one country against the other. They are already giving indirect support to Muslim League Pakistan movement. Okay, they already these kind of things were going on. So this is what Cripps proposals, and now Indians agreed that one, that is, this is enough. So we are no longer to accept this kind of slavery situation under the Britishers. Now it is time to launch mass movement. And now what Gandhiji said, that is rejected by Mahatma Gandhiji. He said that one, post-dated check of a crushing bank. So Jawaharlal Nehru called August offer as a dead as doornail. Mahatma Gandhiji called Cripps proposals as post-dated check of a crushing bank. Post-dated check of a crushing bank. Okay. And now plan of Stafford Cripps envisages that after the Second World War, that is in 2016, India should be granted complete independence. No. Dominion status. Again, India should be partitioned into two before granting independence. That is not there. India should be made a republic with a condition that she will join the Commonwealth. Okay, that is not there. India should be given dominion status. That is the answer. Okay, when Scripps proposals failed to satisfy the Indian needs, and now Indians launched Quit India movement. Okay, with reference to Scripps proposals 2022, Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by the provincial assemblies as well as the princely state. No, princely states will be nominated, provincial assemblies will be elected. So this is wrong. Okay, any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with the Britain regarding the future status and encouraging partition. Okay, so answer option would be only 2. Answer option would be only 2. There is last point, we talked about that one. So any province which is not in agreement with the new constitution, they can have a separate agreement with the British. Okay, so this one asked in 2022. And a Warda resolution against Scripps proposals in July 1942 in Bombay, Warda. And that resolution is called as Quit India resolution. It's asking the Britishers to quit India. Okay, and then look at that one. Quit India movement was launched in response to cabinet mission, Scripps proposals, Simon Commission report, or Wavell plan. Wavell plan will come to, that is, it is against Scripps proposals. Okay, 1942. Cabinet mission was in 1946. Simon Commission was in 1927, but the report was in 1930. Then Wavell plan is in 1945. We will come to Wavell plan when we talk about cabinet mission plan. So look at this, 2013, cabinet mission was in answer option. Cabinet mission question was asked. We'll come to that one. Okay. Now 8th August 1942, met at Gowalia Tank Maidan, again in Bombay, approved the Quit India resolution, and Gandhiji gave the mantra, that is do or die, to the people of India. Okay, so do or die in an effort to take independence from the British Empire. Okay, and All India Muslim League gave the slogan divide and quit, because they were asking for separate nation in March, because way back in March 1940, the Lahore session of the All India Muslim League, the Pakistan resolution had been passed. The Pakistan resolution had been passed in March 1940, Lahore. Okay,